All right, today we're tackling something pretty wild. It's Connector's global strategy. And their goal is, well, it's massive. They want to build an entirely new layer of infrastructure for the whole planet, one that's designed to organize human intent. Yeah, it's a big idea, so let's jump right in. So let's start with this question right here, because it's really at the heart of everything. What if the internet actually understood what you wanted? I mean, really understood. Imagine instead of you having to search and dig for things, you could just state your need. You could just declare it, and the entire digital world would kind of shift and reorganize itself to bring you the solution. It's a total flip of how we do things now, right? A really fundamental shift. Well, the answer they're proposing is this idea of a human intent infrastructure. The concept is pretty straightforward, at least on the surface. It's about creating a system like a global coordination layer that directly matches what we need, our intent, with the exact people or businesses or services that can make it happen. Okay, so how in the world do you even start to build something that big? I mean, it sounds impossible. Well, this strategy lays it all out in a 5-stage evolution. The whole plan is to grow this thing step by step, starting as just a simple personal tool and ending up as, planetary infrastructure. So where does it all begin? Stage 1, and this is key. It starts with the individual, with you. This is the absolute foundation of the entire network. It doesn't start with big companies or governments. It starts with a single person just declaring what they want or what they need. And right out of the gate, the value for you is supposed to be super clear. The whole idea is to get those early adopters on board. People like freelancers, creators, students. You can just state your goal, something as simple as, I need a job, and boom, you get connected to opportunities. And on top of that, you get a free personal AI agent for life. Pretty compelling stuff. Okay, so you can see what happens next, right? As more and more people start declaring what they want, the network suddenly becomes this huge, valuable pool of real-time demand. And what does that attract? Well, it attracts the other side of the equation, businesses who are looking for customers. And that brings us right into stage 2, the marketplace of intent. And this slide really gets to the core of the whole thing, the old model versus the new one. Think about it. Right now, with something like Google, we search for information, and then advertisers pay a ton of money to jump in front of us, to fight for our attention. But in this new model, you just declare your need directly, and businesses respond to you. It completely flips the script on how the internet economy works. So the big takeaway here is this simple but powerful quote: intent replaces advertising. I mean, let that sink in for a second. This isn't just some new app or a cool feature. It's a proposal for a fundamental paradigm shift. The entire system is built on this one core belief, that knowing someone's direct, verifiable intent is way, way more valuable than just guessing what they want based on what they've been searching for. All right, so once you have this thriving marketplace of needs and solutions, stage 3 kicks in. And this is where those personal AI agents we talked about really come to life. And don't think of them like apps on your phone. Think of them as your own personal, autonomous software working for you 24/7 in the background. They go from being these passive little tools to being active players in the economy, all on your behalf. And just think about what that actually means for you. Your personal AI agent could be constantly scanning for a better car insurance rate, or it could actually negotiate your cable bill down for you. Maybe it locates a great investment opportunity you'd have missed, or coordinates your whole family vacation, or just manages all those annoying subscriptions you have. It's basically a system for automating all the complicated, annoying stuff in our lives. So, we've covered the personal level and the business level, but in stage 4, the whole thing scales up, way up, to become a piece of national and institutional infrastructure. This is the point where governments and huge organizations look at the system and go, wow, we need to be a part of this. They see how incredibly efficient it could be for routing needs on a massive scale. And the use cases here are honestly staggering. I mean, think about a natural disaster. People could just declare, I need shelter, and be instantly routed to the nearest available spot. Or a government can match unemployed citizens with available jobs in real time. It's about cutting through all the red tape and bureaucracy and creating a direct, intent-driven way to deliver public services. And finally, we get to stage 5. This is the end game, the ultimate vision. At this point, the network isn't just a platform anymore. It's evolved into a neutral, global coordination layer, something that can help us tackle humanity's biggest, most complex challenges. We're talking about things like climate initiatives or global humanitarian relief efforts. So, that's the 5-stage plan, from you to the entire planet. But What actually makes it grow? What's the engine that pushes it from one stage to the next? The strategy document calls it the hidden growth engine, or flywheel, basically a self-reinforcing loop. And it works just like this. See, the more people who declare what they want, the more valuable the network is for businesses, right? So more businesses join. The more businesses that are on there, the more powerful and useful your AI agent becomes. And as those agents start coordinating huge chunks of the economy, the whole system becomes something that big institutions simply can't ignore. Each step just feeds the next, and the whole thing starts spinning faster and faster. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This sounds incredibly ambitious, right? Maybe even impossible. And the people behind this plan, they get that. They anticipate that skepticism. So they reframe the whole project. They argue that you shouldn't think of this as a product. You need to think of it as infrastructure. And infrastructure, well, that grows in a totally different way. And this table really puts it all into perspective. Think about it. Amazon Web Services, they came along and organized cloud computing. Google, they organized the world's information. Ethereum is in the process of organizing decentralized applications. The whole premise here is that Connector is aiming to organize the next logical and maybe the most fundamental layer of them all, human intent itself. Okay, a vision this huge can feel a little abstract, right? It's hard to grasp. So the strategy boils it all down to one single, critical first milestone, the one thing that needs to happen to unlock that entire flywheel we just talked about. And that milestone is this number right here, 10 million. 10 million people declaring their intent on a regular basis. That's the magic number. The plan says that once you hit that tipping point, the network effects just take over. They become so powerful that growth just explodes, pulling in all the businesses and the developers and the big institutions you need to get to those later stages. And so that leaves us with the final, pretty provocative question that the strategy itself poses. We've already built layers of the internet for information, for computation, for finance. So, is a layer for organizing human intent, for coordinating all our needs and goals, is that the final layer? Is that the last major piece of the puzzle for our global digital infrastructure? It is a massive thought and definitely one worth chewing on. And that's where I'll leave it for this explainer. Thanks for tuning in.